What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name's James, the Carnivore Florida man Simon, and in today's video, I'm just gonna drink water. See y'all there. What's going on, everyone? My name's James, the Carnivore Florida man Simon. Let's get into it. Today is April 9th, going to day 60 of the carnivore diet. Still feeling great. Had some, what did I have today? Actually, I haven't really had anything to eat today. I just realized that. So, started the snake diet today. No, but we'll get into that later. See if we can notice the difference between what I was doing earlier and what I'm doing now. Mm. Mm. Like I said to Gay, this is just going to be a video of me drinking water. That's it. Oh, here's another one. I look like Jack Nicholson. I don't know why. Hey, Johnny. It's so weird taking these off. Okay. So, let's get into today. So got on a little bit of a tyrant today. Got an early start around 6. So good news. I don't know if this is true, but the gym down the street from me said that they will be open on April 10th. And according to my watch, that's tomorrow. So we're going to find out if that is true, and I'll let you guys know, because if the gym is open tomorrow, I'm getting back in there and I'm hitting this hardcore. I'm talking every single day, because as of right now, I know that my school has told me that all classes are still online. They've already taken all summer classes, still online. I believe the last update I saw from anything about President Trump was that they may open the country back up around the end of April. So I don't know. And the new stats from the local news are saying that the peak of this whole virus is hitting either this week or next week, like maybe after Easter. Only other thing I've seen, like I said before, the whole Bill Gates thing going on, so I'm hearing updates about that. I guess Sweden is coming out with maybe a cure, but this isn't a news channel, so I'm not going to give you guys a bunch of random stuff that I just read. So hopefully you guys are keeping up with the news. Hopefully you're just keeping safe and keeping healthy. I finally ordered another mask. Actually, a buddy of mine that's in the military got me one, so it's going to be a camo one, just to have on me, just in case. I mean, and it's not mostly just because I'm super worried about it, but man, it's so weird just going anywhere and being the person that's not wearing a mask. I know that sounds, like I'm joining the bandwagon or whatever, but like it's weird, people stare at you differently when you're like the oddball not wearing a mask, like walking around Walmart or going through a drive-through or something like that. So it's really weird, which is really weird. I don't know. It might just be my own subconscious just trying to like a normal human being trying to follow the path or whatever, but I think I'm mostly doing just to like keep people from stop staring at me, like waiting for me to like fucking attack them like a zombie or something. So weird. All right. So let's see. When did it get in? So I'm not sure if any of you guys ever used Reddit. It is a great resource, and a lot of people get a lot of their information from Reddit, just without other people knowing or even telling them that they got it from Reddit. They're just like, I heard it from a reliable source, and it's Reddit. It's Reddit. Just let you realize it's Reddit. So I actually found a carnivore. I actually found a lot of carnivore Reddits. Carnivore diet. Let's go on here. So on this one alone, on this carnivore Reddit, there's roughly 5,889 members, and they have a new subreddit. Sorry about that. So this was one I found, carnivore based versus ketogenic. And I know a lot of the movies, like the last movie I reviewed, The Fat Diet, is a lot. It's really key on a ketogenic diet, which I believe is a very good resource, and I believe it's a really good diet. I mean, it incorporates a more nowadays sense of when we came into it, because if you think about it, an evolutionary standard. When you go back and people were just figuring out meat's good, and they started using the fat in the meat, and they started evolving. That's how our brains got bigger. That's why our brains are pretty much made up of fat. Why a lot of people that get onto the ketogenic diet and start switching over from carbohydrates over to fat, they start to feel like a normal human being. Their brains start working, everything starts clicking. You're not as hungry as much, which is a big thing because I believe a huge problem is, especially in the United States, that we're just consuming so much food. I mean, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is probably just way too much. And then there's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then there's like an afternoon snack, and there's brunch, and there's midday snacks, and there's, it's Susan's birthday, and there's some cake, and there's some cookies. Oh, I brought some leftovers from that, and it just starts to add up. I mean, come on. But yeah, so right here, there's a difference a lot to benefits of keto, and I've been on both. I've been on both extremities, running on glucose and running on zero carb diets. Personally, I feel better strength training with carbs. I train for hypertrophy in the gym with a mixture of high volume and heavy weight sets. My 1 rep max has taken a toll. Switching to zero carbs would incorporate some low inflammation, low antioxidants, moderate carb diet. Do well if one does not eat much fat? Question mark. Granted, they get the micronutrients from organ meats. I heard that it's not good to mix fats and carbs due to this insulin spikes, which is true, and the radical cycling. Not too familiar on this topic, though. Mixed carb cycling if you want to need. I thought that was a good question, but a little bit's a little iffy because I know even now, so a couple people that I follow are Thor, Sean Baker. I still follow Eddie Hall, even though he's not really into even though he's not really into World's Strongest Man. And right now they're working with a gentleman. Let's see if I still have the video up. Yeah, his name is Stan Efferding. He's called the White Rhino, but he's actually been working with Ann Waning, who's a big guy who was part of Westside Barbell and holds actually a lot of different powerlifting records. But they've actually been helping them with their diets. And the big thing is they're actually switching over to a ketogenic diet. A lot of ribeyes. The only thing they take a huge amount of, because you're talking about, when you think about them, you're thinking about, an absolute machine. I mean, Thor is, God, he's like 32, and he weighs like 400 plus pounds, but I mean, he's like 7'2", and I mean, he's just an absolute machine. The same with Sean Baker. I'm not taking anything away. That man has started off just massively tall and has taken his whole structure. And I mean, he takes this really seriously. He's got the ice bath, warm bath, home personal gym. His wife's making sure he's getting the right cooking. He's ready the right cooking. I mean, this man literally takes probably like entire kitchen sets wherever he goes, so he makes sure that he has the proper food and nutrients. But now he's eating like ribeyes and then like some rice, but he's eating like sweet potatoes. So it's like a weird mixture of a ketogenic diet, but like a ketogenic diet for, like a beast of a man. I mean, you're talking about, because they're pushing around thousands of pounds, and that's like their normal weight. I mean, if you ever get a chance, just look at what is it? Yeah, Arnold's Classic 2019 that just got done, or not 2019, 2020, 2019. Any of the strongman competitions, period, just watching them, how they evolve so much. And Eddie Hall is a really good example because he said when he got off, after he won World's Strongest Man, and he retired literally right after that because, God bless him, he wanted to make sure he was there for his kids and his wife because, you take a lot of toll trying to push your body, and then you're pretty much just like a cow. You're just constantly grazing, working out 3-4 hours a day, grazing. I mean, it's unbelievable. But one of the things he did was he switched over to a ketogenic diet and dropped a bunch of weight, and like actually has abs for a man that's like 300 plus pounds. But yeah, I know that the last movie, The Fat Diet, it speaks a lot about the ketogenic diet because it is an incredible diet. And I think that it incorporates a lot to why people are going into carnivore now, because you get to a point where you're kind of doing the diet and you kind of maybe sometimes fall off. I know for me personally, when I was on the ketogenic diet, I felt great. I was doing really good. And then, life happened. I got into a new beautiful relationship. I was happy. I was doing school and work and getting ready for my TED talk, and just, everything starts to pile on and you kind of just forget about it. And I mean, I think that's what a lot of people, I think that's what a lot of us do. Life happens. Oddly enough, I actually had a conversation about it with a lady when I was picking up food with my grandparents at Cracker Barrel. She told me she literally lost $100. I mean $100. Sorry, she lost 100 pounds on the ketogenic diet, and then fell off. And she's gained back 20 of it. But when she gained back 20 of it, it's like it's clicked back in, and she's right back on it again. So you know, it has its ups and downs. But the way I thought that it connects to the carnivore diet is that people get to a point where it's like, okay, they're not really at their weight goal, or they're not really at whatever energy goal, or maybe they're, trying to finish a goal of some kind. So then they find about, they're like, all right, well, what happens if I just get rid of, all the carbs, complete zero carbs, and I try to stick to like a normal consumption of just protein and fat. I think that's where a lot of people get to now. And I'm not saying this is for all carnivore people out there. I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that are real strict carnivore, you know, micros in, micros out, whatever they may be, following, making sure like, Monday's ground beef day, Tuesday's fish day, Wednesday's ribeye day, and stuff like that. So, but you know, it's to each its own, like I've said before. So the next documentary, that's what I wanted. I was getting into it, and again, and it's really big on the ketogenic diet. So I know I call myself the carnivore man, so I just wanted to make sure people realize that. Like, I'm gonna review, but no one's really made a carnivore documentary. But it's close enough, and plus, my biggest goal, besides just for myself, is like to make people realize like sugar and carbohydrates are bad, and like fat and sugar are just a horrible combination. I mean, that's pretty much what the problem is now, and I want people to realize that we've been lied to. You know, I got lied to as a kid. I tried to do everything they said. Even when I joined the military, I tried to do everything. I did exactly everything they said, and I still gained weight, and it made me more depressed, and it just made me more angry and just more upset, and just ruined my life. I mean, I pretty much wasted 3 years of my life just being just compelling myself to stay home and just eat and stay away from human contact. I mean, if anybody watches and is in the military, you know that we get like 4 days or 3 days and stuff like that, which are great. They're the lucky times where you get like 4 days off of work, and literally I would go home and I would buy supplies, or I would just order a bunch of food and I would just sit there, like watching YouTube videos and rewatching old shows, and just drinking myself to sleep, and just eating leftover pizza or leftover Chinese food, or the only time I ever left, which would be and nothing against them. There's a place called Voodoo Donuts in downtown Denver, and I lived in Colorado Springs, so it was about like an hour-ish drive, but it's like 1, 2 in the morning, so really there's nobody out at all. And I would just drive out there, and I'd get a dozen donuts, maybe a dozen plus, just for myself, you know. And I'd drive back home, and I would just sit there and live off those too. Nothing to them. I mean, they're amazing donuts. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're gonna have a cheat day, that's the best cheat day. There's a place actually here in Orlando over near Universal Studios, but I digress. It's it just irritates me, and I know they'll never come out and say sorry for for what they did because of bad science, but I guess this is kind of like a way of a reminder, like, I can do better, you can do better, and we can do better. And I think I'm gonna end it there, guys. Like always, I'm gonna warrior watch the documentary again, and then we'll get into it. And yeah, like I always say, if I can do this, so can y'all. I believe in you. All right, till next one, guys. Peace.